we're back with my second video. I like to do back-to-back videos because it's Saturday. Yes, I have a job interview today. You know, I can't guarantee if I'm going to get that security job, but a job's a job. And I just made a video about it. This one is going to be about sex game. So we'll probably call this one Sex Game, Sex in Africa, Sexy Bald Black Woman and White Woman 2. Now, on my old channel, a lot of people were blown away with the information that I said. So, for black men who are trying to get themselves a black woman, Africa. Now, before you say, well, Africa was the race that sold us, you know, and slavery and all that other shit. I don't even want to get into all that, but I'm talking about if you want a black woman, Africa is the place you'll go to. Now, I ain't never been to Africa, and I'm not saying that I'm not, because I ain't got the money. Well, I'm going to put it to you this way. Give me about 20 to 25 years to save up about $19,000 or $20,000, and then if I still ain't making enough, then give me 25 to 30 years, and if I can get to $50,000, then we probably will go to Africa. I might go maybe once for the experience, that's it. But the point of the video that I'm trying to make is, we're going to start with black woman. Now, there's this strong trend that's now taking place. Now, back when I was a kid, it used to be considered a bad thing for black women and white women to go to a barber shop and cut all their hair off and be bald-headed. And most men were not physically, sexually attracted to women who cut their hair off and was bald-headed. Now, somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around 98, 99, 2000, somewhere in there, I started to see a number of black women cut their hair short. Now, we all know that they all got that from Halle Berry. Halle Berry started the, it's okay to cut your hair short and be sexy with ass. So black men started dating women that look like Halle Berry. White men, Latino men started to date women like Halle Berry. The second black woman who made it good looking for you to cut, for women to cut their hair short and men was like, damn, this woman is fine, was Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith kind of goes back and forth between long hair, short hair, and then I want the bald cut. She goes back and forth between those three styles. And it served her well for like at least 25 years. It served her well. Now, when you see black men start looking at black women with the big butt and the big breasts, and she's bald, and she pulls it off nicely, all of a sudden you see men asking women out to lunch and dinner, and then they hit that ass 2 or 3 times, and it be a black woman that look good and she be bald. Now, the only time that I probably would say that I find some black women that look good with their hair cut short or bald are black women that are either from Africa or Nigerian. You know, they got that nice round ass, them big curves, them big breasts, that sexy ass accent. Now, if you a black man and you don't want to date no white woman, you don't want no Mexican woman, you don't want no Asian woman, you just want a black woman, then Africa or a country like Africa or Ghana would be the places you would probably go to. Now, they're 100% natural. You know, no makeup on their face, none of those chemicals. Everything's 100% natural. Now, I would probably say that you can get sexually aroused off of a black woman that have a bald head. Big breasts and a big butt usually is what gets a man to be like, damn, this woman is fine as hell. And you see that now the trend's taken off. Look in the fashion one world. You look at supermodels, right? They usually always had it where the supermodel always had hair. Now when they start getting women from Africa, West Africa, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, and they get some of these women in their bald head, and you'd be like, damn, this woman is fine. Like Grace Jones. You know, a lot of people don't give Grace Jones no credit because she was a supermodel, a model. Then she became an actress in television and film, and then she became a recording artist. You know, she did 3 albums, 3 to 4 albums. She did her share of television and film. One of her most notable roles was Eddie Murphy's movie Boomerang. And her hair was, she grew her hair out then, and then there was that James Bond movie. So she's had her share of movies. And then, of course, there's Conan the Barbarian, where she's in there with Will Chamberlain and Arnold Schwarzenegger. To give you some history of where cutting your hair short and being bald came from, it actually came from Grace Jones. She's either African or she's from Ghana. I'll have to double check it. And she's in her, late 60s, early 70s. She was in Hollywood for like about 25 years because she did the movies, the television show, she did the music, she did the modeling, she wrote some books, and then of course she, started drinking some of that feminist Kool-Aid and became all feminist and shit, and started doing that black woman and I'm proud and she did that shit too. And then, she reinvented herself. But my point is, it came from Grace Jones, to make it look nice. And she was like 5'11", 6 feet tall. And then with the high heels, 6'1", 6'2", or something like that. So, yeah. Now you see white women all of a sudden go to the barber shop and cut their hair short and start imitating it, and then you see white girls take it a step further. They cut their hair off, they go bald head, and then there's the tattoos and the piercings. Now I think Pink started that, to cut your hair short and then add some tattoos and some body piercings, and then men find it physically, sexually attractive. They get aroused, and then they ask women out to lunch and dinner. Now, what I'm saying is, do I think sexy bald women are sexy? Yes, I do. I mean, they're unpredictable, extremely unpredictable, and they are very sexual in the bed. There are some freaks in the bed. Like, no matter what type of sex it is, they are down for it. They don't care if it's threesomes, foursomes. I'm not trying to be extremely over the top, but if it's an orgy, they are some freaks. A lot of these women, they're a bald head, or they cut their hair short, and they got the tattoos and the piercing. They are some freaks. You even have some women that will go as far as to shave one side of their head off and have the other side just full of hair. Now that came like around 2008, 2009, and people be like, "What the hell is that?" I think that's something that started in another country, and then they just copied it here in America. Some men like that style, and some men hate that style. Me, I'm like this. If you're gonna grow your hair out, grow your damn hair out. If you're gonna cut it short, cut it short. If you're gonna cut it all off, cut it all off. What I don't like is one side's got hair and the other side is cut off. I don't like that. That doesn't turn me on. That turns me off, because what it says and what its signal is, you're confused. You don't know if you're a man or a woman. And I'm talking about the woman who tries out the style. Women who cut their hair off knows that she a woman. If she grows all her hair out, she knows she's a woman. If she cuts her hair short like Halle Berry, she knows she's a woman. Hell, if a woman gets braids, that turns me on. Some men hate that, because if a woman get her hair braided, then it's like having sex with a man. Like, it's still a woman with ass and titties, but because you braid your hair like Allen Iverson or Latrell Sprewell, the basketball player, most men don't find that physically, sexually attractive. They find it as a turn off. Now me, I'm a little guilty of this. I kind of messed with some black women back in the day that had their hair braided. I always mess with the black girls that are light-skinned. And usually they call those women dykes. Why are you getting your hair braided like a man? Why you got a ponytail like a man? Why your ass small? Why your titties small? Why you in here losing, 20, 30, 40 pounds and shit, and you 90 pounds? And you look like fucking Skeletor from He-Man. They call those women dykes. And some people will get angry or furious with you if they catch you having sex with a black woman or a white woman or a Mexican woman who does that. And again, like I said in my other video from 2 days ago, about black men having sex with fat white women and fat Mexican women. That just goes to being sexually frustrated. When something ain't going your way, and it's been 5 years, or it's been 10 years, or it's been 15 years that you've been rejected, you pretty much just gonna start hitting anything in a skirt, because you're at that age where you're sick of the disrespect. You're tired of the games. You're tired of people telling you, dude, why don't you get some money, looks, and status, and everything will be fine. And this is where we put in the nice little rule of being a player comes into effect. You take these women out to lunch and dinner, you have sex with these women. Now, if you get into a relationship, then yeah, it can be chaotic and dysfunctional. But what I'm saying in this video, yes, sexy bald women are good looking. I've noticed you get black guys that go after the white girls that are bald-headed with the nice cherry ass. And, you know, the brother be like, damn, she bald-headed, but she got some ass. And then people are like, but she a dyke. And, you know, the brother might get angry and upset because you telling him to raise his standards. And for him, he probably does that, but then he gets rejected. So, yeah, it's a case of, you know, mistaken identity. But what I'm saying is, in time, men have decided, you know what, it don't matter. She bald, I'll still hit it. You know, she got a big butt, I've even seen some light-skinned black girls, you know, fat, and then be bald, and then a brother still hit. So there's that dynamic too. So I'm making it because it's another alternative. So if you can't, because some guys try to get the punk rock chick or the golf chick. I've seen some golf girls do it, where she's golf, but she cut her hair short. There's that tomboyish haircut from the early 80s, early 90s. There's that tomboyish haircut where it's a girl, but she tomboyish and cheerful and playful. That is okay. And then you got that I'm 30 years old haircut. That's what I call it the 30-year-old haircut, where the girl's 30, 35, and she cut her hair short, and she want to be taken more serious. Now, some men like that, and some men hate that. So this video is supposed to just clarify that, but it all started with black women doing it. And then they stole the style from black women. I'm just trying to be honest here. And if you go to Africa, you will catch a lot of black women bald-headed with ass and titties. And men and black men saying, God damn, she bald-headed, but look at that ass. She bald-headed, but look at them big breasts. God damn, she fine. I'm trying to tell you, you know, how that works. And you got some men that will do it. Now, depending on the person, if they're young, they might do it for about 4 or 5 years. They'll grow out of the hairstyle, and then they'll move on to something else. So, yeah, we don't want to stay at the park for too long, because I got to get some breakfast, and then I got to get ready for my interview. Should only take about 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll be done with the interview. Then the rest of the day, probably get a haircut. Maybe buy a pair of jeans at Old Navy. I ain't decided yet. And then go hit the gym. So these are the back-to-back videos. But yeah. Now, have I had any experiences of black women who cut their hair short and bald, and I'd be like, damn, I want to hit? Oh, you bet your ass I've had it. I've had maybe, I would say I had 3 or 4 times it's happened to me. Los Angeles City College, there was this one black girl that I did find physically, sexually attractive. That was between the ages of 30 to 35, which we refer to hitting the wall. But she was in great athletic shape. She ate her fruits and vegetables. She drank lots of water. She took good care of her body. And she didn't put no makeup on her face. She didn't have all that chemical junk in her hair. You know, no tattoos, no body piercings. Didn't do no smoking, no drinking, no drugs. So that's what I liked about the black woman. But of course, this black woman was what they called the so-called educated black woman. You know, the 2 college degrees, the 3 college degrees. And she was on that feminist bullshit. And, you know, one day she was wearing revealing stuff because she saw me looking at her ass. And she knew that I found her attractive, so she would let me look at her ass. And then when it was time to look at them breasts, she got mad, like, you can't look at my breasts. And then she contradicted herself because as soon as I turned into Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson 2.0, all of a sudden she just made a scene in class. I ain't gonna tell you what she did in class because it was inappropriate, and we don't want her to one day come on the internet and find out I'm talking about her, and then she be like, how dare you? But once I rejected her, then she tried to pursue me, and I never tried to hit it. And I mean, the thing is, I could have hit it, but the thing was, I didn't like the way that she did the feminist bullshit. And like Ringo TV Raw have told you in the past on this channel, you don't ever take a woman back when they reject you. So I was like, well, you got ass, you got titties, I can't deal with you because you feminist. Now, she had a girlfriend that she was friends with, and she liked to cut her hair short. And then she cut her hair off bald 3 times. Every time she grew her hair out for 6 months, she cuts it short, and then somewhere towards the middle of the month or the end of the month, she cut her hair off. And she had a nice round ass. And I was eating some fried chicken because I was hungry. I skipped breakfast. And she popped out of nowhere, and then she walked to the edge of the door, and I could see her shadow. I turned around, and I saw her ass. And she started smiling and started laughing. So that was two black women, and there was a third black girl who graduated from a junior college to go to I think either not UCLA, but USC or USC Irvine, because she had a scholarship in theater. And she had, so every now and then when I do see black women in their 20s and their 30s, usually it's black women who cut their hair short or bald with the ass and the titties. And then that probably be the only 2 times I want to smash a black woman. Now, I'm not saying black women with hair don't turn me on. What I'm saying is that's what's usually been happening. And then I got hit on not too long ago by a white girl who cut her hair short. And she looked good for her hair cut short. So some women can pull off, some black women and some white women can pull off the short haircut bald look. And some don't need to try it at all. So, yeah, that's basically what this video's for. Now, have I seen some light-skinned black women do it? Yes, I have. And unfortunately, they like to categorize the light-skinned black girl as a dyke. Like, you look at Amber Rose, right? And I remember somebody asked me, I can't remember if it was a Crip or a Blood gangbanger 8 years ago asked me this question, and he asked me a dumbass question that if you were rich and famous, if you were a rapper, which chick would you smash just to smash? Would it be Blac Chyna or would it be Amber Rose? And I kind of looked at him like, I used to like those light-skinned bitches and hoes, so I'd probably smash Amber Rose just because it's a light-skinned woman with ass and titties. And he looked at me like, but she bald, she a dyke. And I'm like, well, how is that different from Blac Chyna? And he kind of just walked away. I'm like, well, I ain't got no answer for that, cuz. But my point is, some women can get away with the look, some can't. Amber Rose, it served her good. That's not me trying to be a mangina or a simp, so don't be thinking I'm a mangina or a simp. What I'm saying is some women can get away with the hair, with the look, and some women can't. So I've seen fat women try it and they look good on fat women going bald. Then I've seen some women tall, I've seen some women short, light skin, dark skin try it. Some can pull it off, some cannot. So, but that should also answer your question why some guys would try to mess with a dyke. And it ain't just black women doing it. Now you got some white women doing it. Now you got some Mexican women doing it. Once again, they stole the style from black women. Grace Jones started it. You know, Jada Pinkett Smith kind of revived it a bit. You know, I think for a short while, Angela Bassett had cut her hair short. You know, and guys are still approaching her and still hitting on her in her 50s. So some women can get away with the cutting their hair short and going bald look. So if you're trying to get you a black woman, Africa or Ghana or Nigeria or South Africa or West Africa would be those places you probably would head up if you're just black woman driven. That's for the brothers that just want. Now if you want a white woman that's bald, then usually you would probably stay right here in America and go up to the coast. You know, San Diego, it happens in San Diego. It happens in San Francisco. But you already know why I said San Francisco. And I'm not saying it in a negative way, so don't be starting that. Oh, he said don't be taking my shit out of context, because you got some motherfuckers that love to take my words out of context. So, till then, peace.